Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the summer semester 2015 version of British Literature 2, English 21-22, sections 50 or 51, depending on which one you registered for. My name is Shane Smith. I am going to be your instructor for about the next 8 weeks or so, and together you and I are going to read 4 of the greatest works of British literature that have ever been written. So, welcome to the class. If I seem a little bit excited, it's because I love British literature. This is my area of specialty. I am writing my dissertation right now on one of the books which you'll be reading this semester, which is Hard Times by Charles Dickens. And, I just love British literature enough that if I could only teach British literature and not have to teach other English classes, I would. But as it turns out, there's not enough students at Darton that are interested enough in British Lit to take that class instead of American or World Lit. But hey, those of you that are here today, I'm happy you are here. I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad that you chose this class and that you chose to take it with me over the summer. I think that you're going to absolutely enjoy all 4 of these books that we're going to be reading. And I think that we will develop some critical thinking skills because you will be writing papers on all of them. Plus, you'll be doing a research paper. And so you'll be developing those critical thinking skills that are necessary to function not only in a literature class, but also in all of your classes and in the workplace. So if you've been hearing the debate about, well, why do we have so many literature classes and art classes and theater classes, I'm going to go ahead and say now that the reason for that is because they help you develop critical thinking skills that other classes do not. So that's why this is necessary. Now, before we get started, I'd like for you to go ahead and go into the syllabus folder. If you go into the left-hand side of your D2L homepage, you'll see the folder titled Syllabus and Schedule. Go in there and open up the syllabus itself, and you can print it up if you like and put it in your notebook, so you'll always have it even when the internet's down. Or if you don't have a printer or you're running low on ink or running low on paper and you don't want to use it on the syllabus, at least minimize it in your window so that as I go through the syllabus, which is what we're going to do next, you can open it up and take a look at what I'm reading as I'm reading it and read along with me. So I will pause for a couple of seconds here and let you hit the pause button and go into the syllabus, and I'll be here when you get back. All right, good. Welcome back. All right, let's take a look at the syllabus itself. I'm not going to go through this syllabus line by line. A lot of this you can read on your own. But I do want to hit the highlights. I want to hit the stuff that's very important. And stuff that I would go over if we were in a classroom and you were sitting in front of me and we'd be going over this stuff. So, this is English 21-22, either section 50 or 51, again, depending on which one you registered for. My office number and my email. I check my email frequently. So, there's going to be a week in June where I'm going to miss on Wednesday and Thursday, I think, because I'm going to a convention out of town. And I think there's another day later in the semester that I'm going to miss because I have to attend a function in Adel of all places, or Adel, excuse me, of all places. So you can tell I'm not from here, right? On those days I won't be in my office, but for the most part I will be in my office during these hours you see here. The reason there's a gap on Tuesdays and Thursdays is that I'm also taking a PE class because I've got a little bit of a bigger belly than I would like, and so I'm hoping that by taking that PE class I can slim that down. So if you're taking the walk, jog, run with David Mann on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you will see me in there, starting today actually. So yeah, welcome fellow classmate. So we've got that going on. So I check my email frequently even when I'm out of town. And the phone number you see there is to my office phone. It's a direct line to my office. So if you call that, you won't go through a switchboard or anything. You'll just get me. So notice those office hours. Also, if you are on campus, come by and see me. Stop by my office, especially if you're struggling with one of these books. Come by my office and visit me. I actually like the personal interaction that I get from seeing a student one-on-one. So those are the office hours. You can see that there's actually a little bit more than what are required of me, but I do like to make myself available. All right, description, policies, data, yada yada. Let's go down to the required textbooks, which is towards the bottom of the page. And I've got an important note there after the books. They are Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, Hard Times by Charles Dickens, and The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Now, note the important note here. This here is the Jane Austen that's actually, it should be the one in our bookstore. If it's not, you can find this on Amazon, or you can find it probably at Books A Million. In fact, I think I bought that one off of Amazon. But the cover price of this book is $4. $4, and you get one of the greatest works of literature ever written. This is Jane Austen's classic work. When most people think of Jane Austen, they think of Pride and Prejudice. All 4 of these books on here are affordable. The $4 I think is about the average. So for the price of a small pizza, or maybe a medium pizza, I guess, you could have all 4 of these books. I did that by design because I know that many of you are paying out of pocket. I know that for some of you, you've run out of financial aid until the fall semester gets here again. And I know that for many of you, you may be taking a class, another class in addition to this one, which would require that you buy an expensive textbook. So I've been cognizant of that, and I've chosen these books based upon their affordability. If you have to buy some kind of a $250 science book or math book or something like that, and can't even afford the $15 or so it would take to buy all 4 of these books, then you can get them online probably for free. All 4 of these works are in the public domain. I've been told that you can get them on Kindle and download them for like $2. So there's no excuse for not having these books. And if you still can't get them online, then you have this neat little place called a library that you can go to. Our campus in Albany has a library on it. And you go in this library and you find these little things called books. You can do that, or your public library could possibly have all 4 of these. So let's say you don't live in the Albany area. Let's say you're taking this class and you live in Atlanta, or you live in Florida, or something like that. You can still get all 4 of these books for free by going into the library, getting this thing called a library card, which is kind of neat. I remember getting my first library card when I was 8 years old, and I thought, man, I am loving this. And I did. I read just about everything in the kids section and started into the the grown-up sections of the library at a very young age, thanks to that library card. So you can get them for free there, and they'll let you check them out for the duration of the semester. It's no problem. So get all 4 of these texts. You buy them, check them out of the library, download them on the internet, whatever it is you've got to do to get them. Make sure you get them. Now, I will say that these Dover Thrift Editions, as I was reading this one and making my notes, I did notice some typographical errors in here that Jane Austen herself probably didn't make. But again, it's only a $4 book, so I guess it's, what do you expect, right? So, please get all 4 of these books and get them as soon as possible. So, that's how that works. All right, next. Of course, notice I got it in all bold. I will not accept the excuse you couldn't afford the books, because I cannot make any books cheaper than free. Attendance. You need to sign into this class at least twice a week minimum to do well. Every week I'll have a weekly video. Now this little welcome video is going to serve as this week's video, and it's going to be one of the longest ones. There will be a weekly video every week, which generally will probably just say, I'm this far in grading the papers that you just turned in last week, and remember you've got a due date on Friday, and you've got to do this by Friday or something like that. That's generally the extent of the weekly videos. But you always want to watch those, and there could be changes too. If I make a change in the schedule, or I make a change in anything whatsoever, I'll announce these and those in these videos in addition to sending you an email so that you'll know about the change. At least twice a week. Some students will sign in more. But since these are novels that you're reading in paperback, probably twice a week should be sufficient. Withdrawals, you can read that on your own. The no-show period, if you're watching this video, you have nothing to worry about. Because if you're watching this video, you have signed into the class. The no-show is only for those that don't sign into the class, and then they send me an email the week after I withdraw them, and they say, well, I meant to sign into the class. Can I get back in? I'll show them. I'll email them a copy of the syllabus and say, look at that. So the no-show you don't have to worry about. Makeup work, remember, this is a shortened semester. This is only 8 weeks. You don't want to fall behind, especially when what we're doing is reading novels. If you you get to the midway point of the semester and you haven't even opened a book yet, good luck. It's going to be difficult for you to get caught up. I'm also going to start penalizing at about the midway point of late work because I'm not going to want to be bombarded by a whole bunch of late essays at the end of the semester, and I just won't be. If you turn in something, if you try to turn in all 4 of your essays in the final week, you don't expect me to read them. Just expect bad grades and take this class again in the fall. So now you can see I've got a list of documentation that you can go through that says if you can show me a PDF of this, scan this into your computer and send me a PDF, then I can work with you. Life goes on even after you enroll in school. And even in a compressed semester, if you have a death in the family in a compressed semester like this, it actually is probably more stressful than if you had the death in the family during the, say, like a regular semester. Now, death in the family is never not stressful. I know that. But, if you fall 2 weeks behind in a 17-week semester, then that's not so bad. You can get caught up. You fall 2 weeks behind in this semester, and you're going to have a hard time of it. So, and that's not just in my class, that's in every class, because, we do about the same amount of work in half the time. So, there's my policy. I will just give automatic Fs to anybody that wants to do this at the end. That brings me to this point. You can pace yourself in this class. Theoretically, all you're doing is writing these 4 little short essays in a research paper. Theoretically, you could be done with this class a couple of weeks early. I've got one student out there who's already read 2 of these books. So you could, by pacing yourself, get done with this class early. Then if you got major projects in your other classes, you can work on those in the last couple of weeks and feel confident that you're done in here. I don't have a final exam during final exams week. So all of this work can be done early if you want to go at that fast a pace. On the flip side of that is you could theoretically wait until the end of the semester and do all 4 works. Now, again, I'm going to probably only read a couple of them and give Fs to the other 2 if you try that method. But also, if you walk up to me or you call into my office or you call me on the phone or you send me an email and say, Mr. Smith, I know I haven't done a single thing all semester, but I'm going to write all 4 of these papers and the research paper in this final week. You know what I'm going to say to that? Good luck. I've never seen a student pull it off, ever. Students have tried it, but they realize how overwhelming it is to wait until the end of the week and try to do an entire semester's week of work under the pressure of a deadline. Because on the date of, what day is it? Tuesday, July the 28th at 11:59 p.m., that Dropbox is going to, boom, shut down. And I will not accept anything by email. So pace yourself. Try to work a little ahead if you can. I've got this class set up so that you can. But at the same time, don't wait until the last minute. All right. Grades are pretty straightforward. Errors are pretty straightforward. The evaluation, the 4 essays. I know these are weird numbers, but this is the way I did it mathematically. The 4 essays are going to be 19% each instead of 20, and then the research paper at 24. I wanted to give the research paper more weight than I gave the 4 essays. So therefore, if you decide not to do the research paper, then the best you can get in this class is a 76, and that's if you get 100 on all 4 of the other essays. Folks, if you've decided not to do the research paper, I find it highly unlikely you would get hundreds on the other essays. So that's the breakdown of how the grade is. We can read the rest of that later. I do want to take a moment to discuss plagiarism. Don't do it. Don't do it in my class. I have no tolerance for plagiarism. You should have by now in your English 1101 and 1102 classes gotten some kind of a lesson on plagiarism and what it is. If you have not, or if you've been out of school for a long time, plagiarism is essentially copying somebody else's work, putting your name on it, and taking the credit for the work that the other author did. There are various ways you can do that. You can copy it. I've seen students copy and paste Wikipedia pages into papers. I've seen students go purchase papers online with a credit card. You're not going to pass this class with a credit card. You're going to pass this class with a little blood, sweat, and tears. That's what you're going to pass this class with. So don't go buy a paper. Everything, and you'll see it in the very final paragraph there, everything you write in this class will be submitted electronically. Everything you write in this class will also be run right through the turnitin.com website. And turnitin.com is pretty good at catching plagiarism. I give out multiple zeros every single semester because some student tries to be wise and think they can outsmart Turnitin, or that they can outsmart me, and guess what? No, can't do it. So, or if, maybe you've done it in the past and you think you can get away with it again. but it's like the shoplifter that goes and steals a shirt one day and gets away with it. Then they go back the next day and steal 2 shirts next, and you keep going on, and eventually you get caught on a security camera, and there's a policeman waiting for you at the door to give you a free pair of steel bracelets and take you in. So if you've gotten away with it before, you won't get away with it in this class. Do not plagiarize. Please do not plagiarize. Don't write to me and say something like, "Oh, I turned in the wrong paper." I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. No, you didn't. You plagiarized. I'm not going to believe that nonsense. So don't do it. There is a plagiarism page in our Writing Centers page, and I think our library page also has a plagiarism section. There's also, if you still have your My Blank English book, you still have the plagiarism section of that as well. So there's that. All right, and then finally, you got the schedule on the back. This schedule on the back is the very same schedule that is also in the syllabus and schedule folder. Even though I always put these schedules on the back, I also do it separately because I learned a long time ago that students will only print the syllabus and stick it in their notebook, and then they'll say, "Mr. Smith, I never had a schedule. I didn't know what I was supposed to do." Well, so now I've gotten into the habit of putting it separately as well. But you've got it here, you've got it separately, and there's a schedule on the calendar D2L. You may have already seen it. If you're on your home page, you can look on your right and you can see all the dates that are coming up that are due. Or you can just go into the calendar, and my page or my class will have a separate, a certain color on the date, and then somebody else's class will have a different color, and it'll be color coded. So pay attention to this schedule. Pay attention to the videos because I will remind you of these due dates. You'll see that you have about 2 weeks between each essay. Notice that I did not put the names of the novels that are due on these. It says first essay, second essay, third essay, fourth essay. I want to take a minute to talk about why I did that. You will be able to read these 4 works in any order you want. Well, my recommendation for you to do to decide on which one you're going to do first is go into all the little modules. There's a separate module for each one. One for Pride and Prejudice, one for Hard Times, one for go through all of those. Take a look at the questions on the question sheet. Or the essay sheet, because those will be your guide as to what it is you kind of need to go ahead and work on. I would, if I were you, go through those and decide which novel you want to read first, or maybe the play. You want to read the play first. Which one do you want to do first? Because your research paper will likely be on what you do what you do your first essay on. So notice that the first essay is due, then the annotated bibliography is due, then the second essay is due. And again, your second essay can be any one of the other 3 you didn't read first. You're going to spend some time on this research paper. So pick the one that you want to do first, read it, do your essay on it. That's going to be the basis upon which you're going to write your research paper on. And then you'll do your annotated bibliography. I will create a separate research paper video for you and post it in D2L. So you're going to be just fine on that. Okay. So note those due dates. The essays are about 2 weeks apart, and then on the weeks when the essay's not due, you'll be doing some work of some sort on your research paper. The research paper will essentially be your final exam, and that will be due on Tuesday the 28th. And of course, the Dropbox will shut down on the 28th. So you don't want to try to turn it in to me on the 29th, because I'll say, "Oh, I'm so sorry you didn't get it in. Enjoy your 0." All right. So that's this class. That's this syllabus. What I want you to do now is go through, even if you haven't gotten the books, go through and explore this page. There's no quizzes. There's no discussion boards. There's only the papers that you have to write. Go through this page. Look around. The Hard Times folder may not be completed yet. If you're watching this like on Thursday the 28th, but it will be done by the end of the weekend. So you should have plenty of time to decide if you like Hard Times and want to write your research paper on that. Hard Times is my favorite one of these books. It's the one that I'm writing my doctoral dissertation on. So just bear in mind as you do your research on Hard Times that I've probably read whatever it is you're going to be reading as well already. So actually I've done that for all of these books, but especially for Hard Times because I'm reading it again now. So All of that should be done by the end of the weekend. Take a few moments, explore the page, go through the syllabus, watch this video a second time if you have to, and get those books. Get those books however it is that you can get them. And let's have ourselves some fun. I think this is going to be a great semester. I'm looking forward to working with all of you on these novels. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me, or you can email me either on the email on the syllabus, or you can use the D2L email. I check both of those on a frequent basis. And or call me on the phone, or stop by and visit my office if you happen to be on campus during these office hours. And if you're taking David Mann's Walk, Jog, Run class this semester with me, you can ask me questions in there as well. That'll be perfectly fine. So with that, I bid you adieu.